Well, happy Friday night. Welcome back to Ribbon Candy Hooking. It is great to see you this Friday night. This is Friday night, cocktail night, gallery night. It is a double whammy for us tonight. This is, I think, our favorite night of the month, the night that we look at each other's work and projects and things that are happening and cheer each other on and get excited about new techniques and new ideas. And there are some beautiful things coming at you in this episode because I've seen them. I've already seen them, so I know that they're beautiful. So now remember how a couple of weeks ago we were glitching like crazy? Let me know if that happens because I don't know if that was like a temporary thing that goes away, like that's good. Toothache went away, fantastic. Or if it's something that's really problematic. And if it is, I definitely need to know. I'm trying to track what's going on with that. I've updated some stuff and everything is new and it should be okay. So let me know if you're having any kind of technical problems on your end. You know, I'm not that good, but every little clue helps, right? Helps me figure out the bigger picture. Cheryl, great to see you. Cheers, my dears. So it was a sunny day and you've got a sunny night tonight before rain tomorrow. That is a bummer on a Saturday, right? Remember, it was either last year or the year before. Every weekend, it was rain both days. I feel like it was last year. I feel like it might have been both last year and the year before. And I remember thinking all summer, like flea markets and people who would try to have yard sales and do some outdoor stuff. I remember thinking, I don't know how this is even possible, but I hope we're not headed in that direction. There have been some rainy weekends here with very sunny weeks. Looks like I'm glitching. Oh, hard, and it's like I'm pitching. Stay on top of this. Does my voice sound normal and is the image glitching for you? Because nothing has changed for us here at all. Kirsten, great to see you. Happy Friday. Cheers, my dears, from Vermont, where the leaves are finally coming out. Here, too, it was like while I was in Vermont last weekend, the entire view filled in, and I can't see the town anymore. I used to be able to see the lights of the town across the way because all of the trees were bare. And now it's really, really lush, which is nice. I've also noticed, I have to be careful when I say this word because Little Buttons is over here and I don't want to upset him. It seems like a big tick year here. I don't know if this is like universal, but I've never seen so many ticks around in my life. I can't even say that word in front of him because he thinks I'm coming after him with the tick twister. And he runs away and hides, and I hate to do that to him. Lately, he sees me, and all he thinks of is like pain and the ritual of taking off the TICKs. Dear, oh dear, Jane, great to see you. Voice glitching. Some glitching for you too. Oh, that's not good. That is not good. I never know what to do. It's like hiccuping. Is it doing it ongoing? It's not like um, I mean, I can't run the show if we're glitching because it won't be usable. It won't be usable content. It'll drive us crazy, but then no one will be able to watch it afterward either. Uh, does anybody remember, did it go away on Monday? Like Monday, I ran a show. I didn't notice that I was glitching a lot, but do you remember if I was glitching on that day? Um, Back to normal. Seems like it comes and goes. Super frustrating. I'm gonna let's keep an eye on it and let's see what happens. If anyone has any ideas, the only idea that I haven't tried is um, directly like hardwiring what is it called? Ethernet or something cable. That would mean I would have to be in the basement. And I'm in the upstairs now with sunlight, and I was about to move to our old place, the breezeway where my studio is. And I won't be able to do that if I have to be live every time with the Ethernet in the basement, like all Stephen King down there. That would be a last attempt at figuring this out. But let's keep an eye on it and see how it goes. Tonight is one of those nights, like most days most shows, when I show you a lot of images and then I can't see myself, so I don't know if I'm glitching. So be sure to let me know. Give me feedback as we go. I'm not going to throw the content out, but I don't want to do good content when you're not getting the full picture. Let's keep going for now. And I will say, Jane, great to see you in Maryland. Happy Friday night. I wonder if it feels like spring slash summer where you all are. Certainly does here. Not super warm yet, but I definitely feel like we are there. We are on the doorstep. Valerie, great to see you. I love your little cheers, my dears. You should do cheers with Cheryl. You both have cute little glasses of red wine. They could do ding, cheers, my dears. Great to see you from Rehoboth Beach, Delaware. And I have something of yours in the show tonight. Um, and New Moon. I always screw this up. Now, wait a minute. New Moon, Judy. Yes, Judy. I always, but I didn't. I didn't. I looked at my notes. Judy, great to see you. Judy, you're not in the Vermont Guild, right? You're not in the Green Mountain Guild. Because I thought I heard somebody say your name at that guild meeting. I was very distracted, but I thought I heard your name, and I thought, oh, is Judy here? Um, I hope you weren't there because I don't I didn't say hi to you if you were there. Okay, let's see. Jessica, great to see you. Hello, all. I have had the busiest week and I haven't hooked much, but looking forward to seeing other people's weeks. Was that weeks plural? The busiest weeks. Yeah. Yeah, well, great to be busy with good stuff, and we'll look forward to more hooking when it makes sense again, right? And Diana, didn't want to miss saying hello. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to skip over you. Never received yours. Never received yours. Um, Gosh, I wonder what that is. Do you mean the notification for the show tonight? Huh. It was definitely posted on there. Cheers, my dears. Cheers, my dears. Diane Mercer, great to see you. Oh, happy Friday night. Catherine, happy Friday night. Good evening and happy cocktail night. It is great to see you. Myra, cheers. I'm going to do a cheers with my water. Cheers, my dears in Virginia. Great to see you. And Linda, cheers, my dears, to all my buds. From all your buds a poppin' in New Jersey. Yep. It's that time, isn't it? I'm so excited. So it is glitching. Are we still glitching? Let's see. Let me get down to the bottom and see if anything has changed. I have to admit, I struggled in the last hour with this program again. It kept shutting down and I couldn't figure out why. And I had more content to add because I got some emails at the end of the day and I could not make it work. I don't know what's going on. Let's see what happens. Catherine, Myra, Linda, Kirsten, voice glitching. Kirsten, let me know if it's better now. Um, Jessica, some glitching. Okay. Yeah. Dave, great to see you. Pancake. Do you mean pancakes or crepes? Are they actually pancakes? Pancakes is such a confusing word. My husband says pancakes and they are like thinner than crepes. They are like thinner than like what is it called? Like a burrito shell, like a, tortilla. So many different kinds of pancakes, all great. Let's see. Mom, there you are. I'm missing my mom. I haven't seen her for a few days. Got immersed in cleaning closets. Oh, how awful is that? I know it's necessary, but it takes forever and it is awful. Great to see you. Judy says, I'm in southern Indiana, but they're a lot. So maybe they were, maybe somebody did mention you and my radar went up. Interesting. Ursula, great to see you. Happy Friday to you too. Judy says, oops, a lot of Judys in there. Well, there are. Um, I'm going to check your last name just to be sure. I didn't write your last name down. You don't have to write it here because it's like the public space. But I know I have three Judys in my life that all have the same surname as well. Impossible and yet true. Not even in the same family, it just happens to be that way. Lots of Judys. It's a very good name. I'm not surprised, right? It's a very fun name. So okay, everything's okay for everybody. Sounds good. I'll win. I'll win. I'm gonna write that tag down. I'm gonna try to remember, and if you tell me, I'm gonna write that down. I know I used to have that one on the chalkboard. That is a tough one. User WM4DC. Good to see you. Welcome and happy Friday night. Okay, great. It sounds like everything is going well so far. Let's hope for the best. Gayla, great to see you. Happy Friday night. Welcome back. No glitches. Okay, hoping for the best. Nope. Thick, fluffy pancakes. Old school. There you go. Is there bacon on the pancakes? Is there bacon and maple syrup on the pancakes? Just got to know. These are things that I just really can't eat anymore, or I eat once in a blue moon. So I love to hear about other people's food and eat vicariously in a weird way. And Ursula says, "All clear for you. Tech can be such a pain, ain't it the truth? Is seriously, isn't it the worst?" Yeah, this my week has been a week of technical stupidity, and Becky, of course. Yeah, and I know we all feel that. We all know that. I'll tell you a quick one before we start the content, because I know you know this one too. This is one that I think we all know. If you have a bank account, you know this one, right? I go into the bank and I said, "I'm really tired of this no hassle bank account because the no hassle means you don't have checks. And it's a huge hassle because I sometimes need checks, right? So I went in and I said, listen, I would like to get checks to go with my bank account on two conditions: that my card is not shut off, number one. You know where this is going, right? And number two, that none of the information changes because I do not have the bandwidth to look for all the places that my card and my bank are attached to, right? With payments coming in and payments going out. Well, fast forward a couple of days, and I'm in New Haven with a group of adults, some of whom I know very well, like my mom, some of whom I know not at all. Thank God everyone had already, I think, exited the restaurant. I tried to use my card to do my part of the payment, and it was declined twice. And I thought, huh, well, I know how much is in there because I check, because I always check just to be sure. And I know I have money in there. And yeah, twice it was declined. So I used, thank God there was money on something else, right? So then on the way home, I stopped to gas up and the card was declined. And I thought, it's like the glitching. Like maybe this will go away. This is weird because I know there's money in there and I didn't get any notices that someone was using the card and they were going to shut me down. You know how that happens a lot too. Wasn't that? I didn't get any notices. I thought, how strange is this? And then I forgot, right? I went to sleep. I was exhausted. I forgot. I ordered some underpants for Teddy on Amazon. And then the next day I saw they hadn't shipped because I needed to update my payment because it didn't go through. And I thought, okay, this is it. I'm stopping what I'm doing. I'm going to call them. So I called them and sorry, we cannot take your call right now. Okay. So call this number instead, like the big umbrella number. I called that number. They said, is this the last four digits of your card? And I said, no, this is the last four. And they said, no, that card, that's an old card. And I said, no, that's the card in my hand. And they said, no, that card was shut off and we will future tense be sending you another card. And I said, that's not possible because I went into the bank to get some checks and they promised me that they would not, I said a lot of other stuff too, that they would not shut my card off. Card was shut off. And it just shipped yesterday. So it'll be at least 2 weeks that I don't have a bank card. So today I had to actually drive to the bank, right? The gas is only like, I don't know, $4.89 a gallon. Drive over there. It's not close to get some cash out for the weekend because the card doesn't work. You know this one, right? Everybody knows this one. And just for the punchline, the post note is they also changed the numbers on the account. So I'm going to have to spend a lot of time figuring out who I have to update. You know these, right? I'm not the only one that has these fun times. I wonder, how well do you behave when these things happen? Because I have to admit, I behave very badly every time. It's not like sometimes if I'm having a good day, I behave well. I always behave very badly. In fact, Teddy was in the car when I went into the bank today to get the money. And even though I had already said my piece over the phone, I knew I still had it in me. I still had that anger in me. And I said to Teddy, if you see police cars pull up, just stay here because it means I went too far and they're coming for me. And he was like, Mom, no, it is. I'll try my best. The best is all I can do, right? Yeah, right. Yeah, you know this story. Really, really fun times. But on a more positive note, Dave said, real maple syrup, yes, the bacon in the grocery store is waiting. There we go. There we go. Everything is right in the world. All right. Well, great. And I think, yes, good. Good, Dave. I'm glad it's not just me because I behave well and I'm always very, very nice. I'm always very nice in person. And uh-oh, and I'm always sincere and kind to people. Always. Except, and it's such a big except when you mess with me or you shut me off from my bank, it doesn't go as well in those situations. So it has been a very trying week for me, and I have been looking forward to us spending some time together tonight and looking at some beautiful pieces because I know that I will be inspired. You will be inspired. Valerie, you lose your mind. I'm glad to hear it. I am glad to hear it. I mean that literally because I feel that joy. Great to see you. Happy Friday. Happy Friday. Goretti, happy Friday in Acton. That's Canada. Great to see you. I'm glad that other people lose their minds because then I know that I'm in good company. And I think part of the reason I lose my mind in situations like this, along with you, Valerie, like really over the top, is because I just want to be sure when crazy things happen. And when I say crazy things happen, what I mean is people aren't doing their job correctly. And that really is the basis for all of life's aggravation, isn't it? Somebody is screwing up their job and it's not you, right? That's the thing that gets me. And yeah, I just can't handle that situation well at all. So I always try. I try. The girl was very, very nice, but as soon as she saw me come into the bank, and she's only met me once, she went into the back room. So somebody else was dealing with me. He was very nice. It was very hard to bring that kind of flippancy and sarcasm to someone who didn't set up the bank account and tell me those wrong answers, right? He was very nice, and he hadn't said, "Oh no, your numbers will stay the same." Oh no, they would never turn off your account. Why would they do that? Why would they indeed? Right. Well, I'm going to have some checks though. And you know what? I'm not going to get them from the bank. I'm not going to get them from KeyBank. I'm going to order them from Current. And Barbara, thank you for reminding me that Current number one is still in business. And number two has beautiful seasonal checks. You can get like four different patterns for 4 seasons. And that'll put you in a good mood, even when people are driving you out of your mind, right? Let's see. So gallery night, but as we set up for gallery night, let me tell you about a couple of things that I want to remember before we leave. I might remind you at the end in case any buddies pop on later on. Fun stuff happening at Ribbon Candy, right? Fun stuff happening. I also want to remind you, I will be going on vacation as usual, same dates as always. I'm like a crazy, crazy old dinosaur that goes to the same place, going on 50 something years and for the same week and everything the same. So I will be, just so you know when I'm gone, and I'll put this up on the Ribbon Candy Hooking website, May 21 to June 6th. So that's 2 weeks and 2 nights. So while I would love to take orders during that time, there will be a reminder up that says, I'm not there. I'm on Cape Cod at the crappy cabin. No, it's our great cabin, but it's very campy, right? Which is the way that we like it, sitting on the, well, when I say the beach, I mean the edge of the pond, right? Stepping between the goose poop because it is that time of year, but it is the best place in the world. So I will be there during that time, and it's great to get orders, particularly PDFs and downloads, things that come to you automatically. It's great to get orders because it's scary to go that long without making orders and new products. I will be working on new products during that time. I just will not be shipping anything. So I'll put a reminder for that up. And if you need something urgently and you're thinking, should I put an order in this weekend? I would say sooner is better than later because you know it's going to be like a bottleneck right before and it's going to be all panicky and crazy. So that's coming up. Some other fun things coming, some fun things for all of us coming up, not just me hanging out in my favorite place in the world with my favorite people, right? My mom's going to be there and my husband, the kids, my sister Jessica, her husband Tomo, all of us. The one buddy that can't be there because of policy is the one that you hear whimpering because someone's eating dinner. It's Buttons the dog who would really like just a tiny bite of pizza. I think that would really, yeah, that would really change.
One without the companion.
Yeah. All right. So let's see what else is happening. Oops, that was too soon, but we can start with this one. I was going to start. Let me start with the other one. Let's start with this one. I want to remind you that the Cheticamp class is rolling right along. Sign up for that is rolling right along. And the whole Cheticamp project with BettyAnn Cormier and Kirsten right here on with us tonight. So, what I want to tell you is, well, Kirsten, this is a beautiful slide, by the way. This is a reminder, and thank you for putting this together. This is so pro. It's crazy. Put me to shame here with these amazing graphics. The class is coming up. There are two classes independent of each other. It's not a continuation. They are freestanding classes where you learn how to do Cheticamp. And it's a sailboat that's a little bit like that, a little bit different. It's Kirsten's design over on the right, pretty dang close, right? And those are what the kit looks like, right? So you're seeing the colors, and we changed the blue in the background, right? We changed the two blues, I think. So, Kirsten, I'm glad you went with that, the greenish blue, like the sea foam. I really love that color. That's the sky. And the darker one is the water. So slightly different colors, more like the one on the right. That's the one that Kirsten color planned. That Cheticamp class is coming up. That's available on Ribbon Candy Hooking. Super great class. You know that Betty Ann is the queen of Cheticamp. She is the person you want teaching you this. She's been doing this for years. She is Cheticamp at this point. The class happens either May 18th or June 10th, and it's a 2 hour class. Sharon, great to see you. Happy Friday, my friend. Super fun. So this is going to be great to sign up for, and then you know how to do Cheticamp. And since you're going to love it, and I know you will, this is another slide from Kirsten, available patterns, because Kirsten is also simultaneously working on her book, A Circus of Puffins and Friends. So these are modern Cheticamp patterns. Lots of people signed up for this. Lots and lots and lots and lots and lots. I don't mean to scare you, but if it's something you're thinking about, I would jump in. There are still patterns available. These are some of the patterns that are available. There are lots of people in both Canada and the US. Oh, the colors look wrong. Well, I think they look great. I know color has been a struggle today too, but Kirsten, they look great to me. When you look at the lobster, right, like the second from the right on the top row, you see there's a huge variety of color. But these are some of the patterns. They got compressed over Facebook. Yeah, Facebook makes everything small. Kirsten, they look stunning, honestly. Like these are stunning. But you can see there's easier ones, there's more difficult ones. Cheticamp is very straightforward and very technical. So you might be interested in something that's a little bit more challenging, and maybe you already do hook Cheticamp style, and you're thinking, "Oh, give me that lobster." Or maybe you're looking for something that's a little less challenging, but there's such beautiful patterns. And we are so, when I say we, I mean Kirsten. I'm going to write a chapter for the book, and the book will be published under the Ribbon Candy bookshelf label. So this will be coming out later this year, but the class stands alone, right? The class is learning Cheticamp, but then if you like Cheticamp or if you already know Cheticamp, and you want to do one of these patterns, please be sure to be in touch with Kirsten or with me if you're struggling to find Kirsten. Get in touch with one of us. I can certainly put you in touch with her. I talk to her 100 times a day at least. But this is a great project to jump into, and I think it's wonderful the idea of sharing this technique with our friends in Canada, right? I think it's great to kind of pick it up and run with it in a different style, same motifs, same sort of subjects, right? Still representing Nova Scotia, right? That part of Canada, and the technique, which is very specific, right? And when people look at it, sometimes they think it's more like needlepoint, but it is hooked just with a very fine hook, very like fine thread, like not thread, yarn one ply. So think about whether that's something you want to jump into. Um, Lonnie, great to see you in Yellowknife. It can't be anyone but you, right? Great to see you. Welcome back. And good timing. You're on deck. Judy says, I'm very excited for the Cheticamp class. Thanks so much for pulling this together for us, Kirsten. Absolutely. Absolutely. I love doing stuff like this, and it's great to have classes here. And I'm so happy to have other teachers, and I hope to do more of this. Cheticamp is a great place to start. We had Rebecca last year, right? Rebecca White Martin from Storyteller Wool. It's great. It's great to do these things. So I'm so happy and proud that Betty Ann will be joining us through Ribbon Candy Hooking to do this project. And yeah, great feedback, Jessica. These patterns are absolutely gorgeous. They are just, it's very different. It's a very different look. And as I've said to my dear friend Kirsten so many times, her style is so perfect for Cheticamp. She's Kirsten designs in a more detailed way than I do. I'm much more graphic, right? Kirsten is like really like a fine artist, right? She designs differently, she sees differently, she chooses colors differently. It's very different. And Betty Ann figured this out a while ago that Kirsten's style is super compatible with Cheticamp because of those tiny stitches. Just one stitch here, one stitch there gives you like a glimmer on the surface of the water or in an eye or makes a star. But each little tiny stitch, right, represents more information, more color. And yeah, these patterns are so great for this project. So be thinking about that. The class, Kirsten, how much is the class? I forgot. Um, I think I know, but I don't want to shout it out if I'm wrong. I think it's super well priced, considering you're getting the kit and BettyAnn, which is great. And then you just know, then you just practice, right? Fantastic. I'll be there for that too when we run those two. So let's get going. I have some other things to tell you. I forgot to put the slides in for the Halloween party in October. Hope you're signing up for that. That is in stone. I've already paid for that. That is a done deal. It's just for me a question of adding more stuff to it, adding more fun stuff, thinking about those swag bags. I want to bust it out for the swag bags. And thinking about putting up a little show and all that stuff, but it is in stone, right? It is happening on those dates. It's booked. I hope you're signing up for that. And also remember the Rose Book came out. It didn't come out. The Rose Book went into pre-order. Barbara checked the PDF of it today and she caught some things that I missed. So I'm making those changes after the show. It's going to be a long night tonight. And then we're going to submit it for print tomorrow. And then we will get the feedback whether or not there's any obvious printing mistakes, contrast problems, and stuff like that. But it should be out later this month. If all goes well, fingers crossed it should. It has been such a labor. So be looking for that. And that has, I think, 75 patterns in it. It might be more. I'm going to have to count them one more time. But it's a lot of patterns for one book. It's over 200 pages. So this is an epic book, but such a beauty. And I think there's a lot of text in there as well. So a lot of great storytelling. I did a lot of it. Other people did lots for their chapters as well. So it's a different format than we've seen before. Here's another thing that I finished yesterday that I'm not exactly ready with, but I'm ready enough for the subscribers to show the newest installment. And my color is not that good either. I hope you can see there's some little ghostly leaves back here that are actually really bright. They're a nice apple color, but my color on my monitor doesn't look so bright, but those are some really pretty little leaves back there. This is the latest, and this is a bright pink nose, so the color is definitely off. It's, I think, a lot brighter than it looks. This is Coming Up Roses, and this is the May kit and pattern for the mouse hole. What's wrong? The Mouse Hole Farm series, which is the monthly patterns, right? I have one kit left for the last two patterns. That is it, right? Once they're out, they're out. These will go to subscribers. Subscribers are already picking up the kits, and I think there will only be two left in stock as of tonight. And I know I haven't even advertised it yet, but I only make a set amount as a kit, right? That's the whole sort of point is an amount that I can sell and not have a lot of stuff lingering. So this is Margot, Laundry and Lint Ball, the dogs, and they're watering the flowers and it's a bit brighter. I wish the colors were more glad looking, but after those April showers, right? That was the last one. We've got this. I also have the next two uh, already ready to go. Not hooked, but ready to hook. Because of my going away, right? It kind of like screws up my everything. So I'm trying to work forward and get those done. So that is there. It's on the website. I think it's actually hidden because we were waiting for subscribers to get theirs first. It might not be hidden anymore because I did see one order come in right before the show. That's there for you. Even if it's not available as a kit, it's available as a pattern or a PDF if you're somewhere else. So that's something to think about. I will be dyeing. I started dyeing. I've got 2 out of the 8 colors for the Crazy Eights ready that go with this set. And I started dyeing right before the show and I ran out of time. So after the show, I have to finish dyeing. I've got probably 2 or 3 hours of dyeing after the show. So busy night here, but it's all coming together. So that's me catching up here on my end after Vermont and quite a bit of travel in the recent past. And we talked about the Cheticamp, the Halloween party, and the Rose Book. There's so much else going on. But let's look at Lonnie's piece that she sent in. Let's come over here to our first slide of the night, and what a beauty it is. Lonnie, this is so pretty. This piece, she says, is just shy of 11 by 17 and was a bit of an experiment mixing yarn and fabric. Ooh, interesting. Okay. The design is based on a photo I took at a territorial park, which in in American language is equivalent to a state or provincial park that is about 10 minutes from your home. wool, yarn, SARI, and found fabrics. And I laughed, Lonnie, when I saw that you wrote, not making you say musk ox. Do you remember last gallery night? I said, well, because there was an image, Lonnie did a hooking of a see, musk ox. And I struggled with it so much. Thank you. Thank you. So it was a beautiful musk ox, but man, what a tongue twister. So I'm going to stretch this open. This is a gorgeous image. And, Lonnie, Kirsten the other day sent me a map to show me where you were located because we were talking about Cheticamp and things being shipped and all that. And it's clear that Yellowknife is super, super, super remote. I am so curious and charmed, and I just find your whole lifestyle and your surroundings and the park and your walk to work through this beautiful sort of natural world so interesting and unusual, and it's just so beautiful. I mean, when I saw this, I thought, yeah, I mean, this is why you work in this style because you are most inspired by nature. And that obviously is a huge part of your life. And this just made me think about your composition and thinking of the other compositions that you've sent made me think about like lately I've been reading a lot of sort of naturalist essays. I'm on a like naturalist essay bender. um and I didn't used to find them interesting. Now I find them interesting. Who knows why? Things change, right? And now because of that, I'm a little bit more tuned into subjects that are, the natural world, like animals and landscapes, because you know hitherto these were maybe my least favorite subjects in terms of interest. And lately, when I see something like this, I'm super interested. And I think it's because my tastes are changing, my interests are changing. I now live on the side of Sweetheart Mountain, and our life is different here. And nature is a much larger part of it. When I see this, I really appreciate the beauty, the moment, and the very clever composition with this one sort of weedy flower. Is I don't know if it's a weed or a flower popping up in front of us as the main character, but this flower is really vying for that lead role with the landscape, which is just gorgeous. You did something really clever here by having a strong vertical with the flower, right? But then you did a strong diagonal with the way the water is flowing around in a bend. And that's a really good trick, right? Because it draws our eye up, but our eye kind of stays. We stay in the scene because we're brought right back down into the curve. And you have a good solid horizon line over there, right? With lots of kind of scrubby trees, right? With bushy trees and a little bit of rusty colors and olive colors, very earthy greens and browns over there. Keeps it very stable. It's a beautiful blue day. It tells the story of a gorgeous day and of a season, right? The flower and the blue sky clues us into this season. Fireweed. Oh, how pretty fireweed. Let's stretch this a little bit and look at it a little bit closer up. I want to see the different materials that you used. And Lonnie, what did you think about mixing it up? Because I know you love your recycled found materials. What did you think about using wool and yarn and sorry. Um, so I'm seeing a lot of the yarn. Okay. And I do see, oh, I see the wool, like the roving type wool in the fireweed. That is gorgeous. My mom says so simple yet stunning. It really is. It's such a moment, isn't it? When I saw it, I just was like, I could picture myself on Cape Cod, similar kind of landscape, wild too, like a wild kind of brushy landscape. And I could picture myself sitting in a specific place, Mom Fort Hill, right? That's the place I'm thinking of. And all of these like tall flowering weedy things grow up right in front of you when you sit down on these benches, and the water is in the distance. It's a very similar view, just a little bit of island and land in the distance, and made me think of that right away. Just made me feel so calm and peaceful and warm, just feeling the sun. This piece has a lot of brightness and cheer to it, and I felt warm when I looked at it. It really has a summer vibe to it. Lonnie says, I've blended wool slash clothing before in the background, but I've not had them completely separate before. I see. I mean, this is a huge success. Whether or not you enjoyed this experiment is a different thing, but like in terms of how it came out, obviously it's massively successful. It's absolutely gorgeous. It's poetic, right? It's just what you want to do when you're creating a piece of art is to evoke a lot of feeling and a place. No, no, no. This is the first Jujun. This is the first slide that we're looking at. Uh, I love the sari ribbon mixed in there with that sort of roving wool. I don't know if it's bat or if it's roving, but that soft, lofty wool that's in the fireweed. Those and I see a little bit of yarn in there too. Those things go really well together because the sari ribbon is very crinkly, right? It's very thready and crinkly. Um, oh, no, Diane, great to see you. Happy Friday. Yard work. Good for you. You lost track of time. That's okay. Good for you. Happy to have you both here. I love that combination because when you put something that is a bit structured like the sari ribbon, right? It's thready and it does a lot on the surface because it always wants to fray. It does have a lot of integrity. It won't actually fray, but it will threaten you a lot with fraying. That it kind of crinkles up and wrinkles, right? It folds itself into origami when you're using sari ribbon, and the roving does the opposite. The roving it's like big fat marshmallow balloons of color and light. It becomes so luminescent because there's so much surface area and its wool really grabs the light. I love that combo. It gives the head of the fireweed, it gives the bloom itself so much energy, right? You get the feeling that it's not done, right? It's still doing things. I'm coming down here because I think you've got some material down in the ground. Is that like the Gray's t-shirt material? Because it's a good mix of colors. I'm thinking if you found a t-shirt or some item of clothing that had this much variety in grays, light gray, brown gray, stone gray, dove gray, charcoal gray, that would be a hell of a find, wouldn't it? Oh, I love the three-dimensional look. I didn't even see that when I first opened it. On the bottom of the stem as well, really comes forward from the rock. Lonnie, I remember, how do you spell sorry? Yep, that's how you spell it, Sari. With sorry, you can either get ribbon, which looks like ribbon but thin, right? And it's stitched together because it's actually saris that are cut up and pieced together like a old time ball of yarn, or not yarn, ribbon. You know what I mean? And sari also comes as a sort of a ropey yarn that's very, very thick and very nubby, right? So it's like sort of graduated inconsistently. In some places it's like thread thin, in other places it's too thick to pull through your backing with a hook. This was sari ribbon. I can tell just by looking at it. But there are two different products that are made from saris, and one is the yarn and one is the ribbon. And in my opinion, unless you're using burlap or very loose linen, the sari yarn can be very hard to work with. It's lovely if you can make it work, but the sari ribbon is very easy to work with. Now, Lonnie, I remember last time we looked at pieces of yours, we had a conversation about how to make things three-dimensional. So I have to ask you, this is very three-dimensional. I can tell that it is not applique. I can tell it is not trapunto. I can tell it is not Waldeboro. Did you just hook this very high and consequently get a great effect? I know this is a stem, and last time we were talking about a really large surface area, so completely different form. I think it was a rock, but this is a great effect, right? I'm going to make it small again. This makes a very big difference to the composition because your eye is catching that the thickness of the stem at the bottom, and it's very realistic because, of course, it tapers off at the top. Um, it makes a big difference to this piece. The three-dimensional quality in the flower, in the clouds, in the stem, just hooked high. Okay, and your rock there is t-shirts, pants, etc. Fantastic. Fantastic. Ursula says Yellowknife is one of our bucket list destinations to visit. Our vast country has so much to offer. Hi from Nova Scotia. Hi back to you, Ursula. You took us on that beautiful train ride with your piece of all of the places you went to, but Yellowknife is still there on your list. I'm glad to hear that. It's on my list too. I love I love this kind of a landscape. This is why for us here I love Cape Cod and Cape Ann because it's wild. It's just it's more wild. I'm not as big of a fan of like tropical and manicured and tidy landscapes. I like a good wild landscape. You know. Lonnie says if I were to do it again, I'd try higher loops for the rocks, but I tend to pull the fabric tighter. I love the contrast that you've got going here. I get what you mean. Maybe you mean like making them more lumpy and more inconsistent in different places, like more dimply or whatever, different sort of relief. And that would look good, but this looks great. I think there's also some relief at the skyline. Is are those pulled a little bit higher too? This is a really, really good effect. The water is keeping it flat, right? It's the water is like the base, and everything else is jumping out at me. I think you've done great things with height for sure. And let me see. Sharon says simple, but all that texture makes it gorgeous. That's it, isn't it? Simple is hard too, right? And Lonnie says highest would be the stem flat slash flower, then next highest the rocks with more of a flat background. Yeah, that'll be great. That'll be great for next time. I mean, that will look beautiful. This this also looks beautiful. It makes me want to pick the flower. I know that's not the right instinct, but it does make me want to pick the flower. And for me, it does make the story about the flower. I'm looking through the flower at the landscape. If the rocks were raised, I think it would be just a more across the board landscape for me. But the fact that only one thing is sort of picked out as the highlighted thing puts a lot of drama and theater into that one flower. I'm not saying you would lose that with the rocks. I'm saying you'd be moving more toward realism, where here it's just a different story. It's like, look at me, I'm beautiful, I'm standing here alone. Pick me and put me in a vase kind of thing in my mind. Lonnie says you can eat the leaves and petals of the fireweed. Oh, how fun. Would love to try that. Do you put them into like salad or you can just snack on them when you walk by? Uh, Diane says, sorry, flower, not a tree. Oh, fireweed. Um, that's what I kept for jumping. No, no, no problem. Uh, we often make fireweed jelly. Oh, how cool! How cool is that? Oh, I want some fireweed jelly. Wonder if we have fireweed here. I mean, I've heard of fireweed. It doesn't look familiar, but I wouldn't be surprised if we did, you know. Um, Interesting. So beautiful, Lonnie. Thank you so much for sending. This is so beautiful. Um, and I'm going to do a special effect in just a minute. Valerie, you sent some beauties tonight too. And you said it's very similar in sentiment to Lonnie's message. Valerie says, I've been practicing hooking with t-shirt yarn. So we're all practicing different things lately, I think. These are 8 by 8. I'm going to show them both next to each other. These are both 8 by 8 on white burlap. I love white burlap. I usually use thrifted wools, but they are getting harder to find. Oh God, yes, right? The X is a hit or miss, and the graphic is my design. We'll talk about them both. Just using random size lids. Oh, so the one on the left, you just use lids from different things and put them down as circles and just made the design. I love that sort of bolt of lightning going through it and one little spark at the bottom too. I love that you chose to do a neutral colored background, right? That nice gray. It's very unusual gray. Um, and that you chose to outline in a nice bright blue, right? Gives it a lot of punch, the border, and then your sort of wild shapes. It's a great instinct and a great idea to do something with a lot of circles and then add something really sharp and unexpected like this because they are opposites. Shape wise, they are opposites. So that makes a lot of sense. It's a very soft composition when it's all circles, but then you shoot some weird shapes through there that are zigzagging and flying through. creates a lot of energy, right? And you have created a wonderful composition. The way that you've laid out the circles is absolutely brilliant. And you have filled in space with that sort of broken arrow shape, right? You filled in the tail and the head of it in your two areas that had the most room. That was a great idea. That was a great use of space. And your corner in the bottom right, that had a little bit more space, right, just in general around that red circle, than its counterpart in the top left corner, which is the pink. You added another little motif there, right, to take that space up. And that was a great instinct. Those were both really good decisions. On the right, you said the X is a hit or okay, so the X is a hit or miss. So you just laid that down and you're just reaching for t-shirt pieces and filling it in, and you have done it in a very sensible way. I say this a lot lately because I feel it's true. You know, of the hit and miss rugs that we all see, historic ones included, you know, some of them are actually hit or miss, and people just grab something from the rag bag and in the dark and hook with it. But most hit or misses, particularly nowadays, cannot be completely hit or miss, because think about, I'm going to go back to a negative sentiment. Think about what your luck is like. Is yours really good? Because I know that mine is not. My luck is not really good. And it would be just my luck if I were sitting in the half dark doing a true hit or miss, that I would have one corner that was like all black or all green. Oh, okay, hang on. We're having a quick cameo visit from
Hi.
my sweetie, my sweet man. There he is, Teddy Beanstalk, Teddy Beanzo,
Thanks.
T-bone steak.
Um,
So I call him a lot of things that start with TB, and sometimes I accidentally also add tuberculosis. And then I think that's not such a good pet name, is it? Tuberculosis.
I was trying to
Teddy.
get buns up for a sec. I don't think he
Oh,
wants to be picked up right now.
well,
I'll
he'll
pick
make a
him up.
cameo later. Teddy, are we going to go for a joyride tomorrow?
Ooh, yeah.
Gami says she loves you. Teddy wants to go for a joyride tomorrow. We haven't had a Mama and Teddy day for a while, so we're just going to take off for a little while in the morning. And should I say what we're going to do?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, we're going to go. He wanted to go about an hour away, just under an hour. So I looked at the map and I saw where we could get to, because our requirements, I think, are nice drive, not on the highway, only on country roads, right? That's one of them. Another one is must have a country diner for us, like some
Oh,
crappy breakfast place where we can eat like pigs, and like a greasy, what we would call a greasy spoon, would have to have that. And so I looked on the map, and we're going to a place called Bethlehem, Connecticut. When we pull up, you know what song I'm going to sing, Ted?
what? What do you think?
The
What?
little town of Bethlehem.
Sorry, I've never heard that before.
Yes, you have. It's a
No.
Christmas song.
Oh, Christmas?
Yes, it's a Christmas song.
Um, I still don't remember.
Yes. Well, that's what we're going to do tomorrow.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And then I'm going to come back to work. Don't worry. I got to get this dying done. I know you're getting
Yeah.
lots of people saying hi, Ted. All your buddies are saying hi, my sweetie.
Thanks.
My sweetie.
I
My
kissed your
sweetie.
glasses.
You did kiss my glass.
Yeah,
I was trying to get away,
just
but
like on
that's
the rim
okay.
right there.
No, that's okay.
Yeah.
That's okay. Joyride. Dave is jealous of the joyride. It is great having a
Oh,
joyride, isn't it?
yeah.
It's so much fun. I know we'll see some
Thanks
other
for all the
fun stuff.
hellos.
See
Yeah.
Teddy, see Teddy, you're connected to the world.
Thanks.
Sometimes he feels really isolated and down, but see how many people know you and
Thanks.
love you, Ted.
Yeah.
Alrighty,
All right.
baby.
Love
See you
you.
later,
See
sweetie.
you later.
Be a good boy. Be a good boy. He part of the world. Yeah, so I'm sorry, Valerie. Let me come back over here. So, when we say like hit or miss, it does sound cute to say, oh, just pulled out anything in there. But you do sort of have to pay attention, don't you? And I can tell that you've sort of paid attention here because it works really well. The yellow is the really strong color for me. There are brighter colors in there, and of course the black is its own monster beast. But the yellow for me is performing really well because it really emphasizes the. You even have more hellos, Ted. It it emphasizes the shape so well. It seems very thoughtful to me that you are doing hit or miss to the extent of you're choosing different colors and you're plugging them in, and it doesn't have perfect symmetry, right? And that is the definition of a hit or miss for sure. And it's a hit. It's absolutely a hit. but it does look like you were somewhat thoughtful about not putting like three strands of black together, or four strands of red, because that really can change the dynamic of even a hit or miss piece, particularly a small piece. You're the most at risk with a small piece. Both of these came out so well. And Valerie, you said that you like working with wools better. And you know what? Everybody likes something different, right? We all like different things. And there's also a season for everything. Sometimes I find myself loving to use pantyhose. For some reason, it's in the fall. And I don't know why that is, but I always start looking for my pantyhose bags when I head into fall. I don't know what it is. And then a little bit later, I start to hook with sweaters, right? And that does make sense to me. In the summer, I like to use like fancy fibers and some of my yarns, my sock yarns, doubling them up and stuff. Most of them are cottons. Maybe just mentally, I'm thinking so much wool and I'm so hot. Who knows what I'm thinking? I don't know what I'm thinking. But I think some of us, it's just like, you love working with wool, or you love working with yarn, or you love working with t-shirts, or you love working with sweaters or pantyhose, or for Wendy, bags, plastic bags, right? We all like different things. And for some of us, we like different things at certain times. But also, some of us are like, no, I really like wool. I mean, I would say most hookers are like, I really like the wool. And in Canada, maybe it's a little bit weighted toward, I really like the wool yarn. Um, but it is the norm, right? Those are the traditional materials. So that makes sense to me that you still like working with the wool better. But it's great. It's great to try. My biggest leap when I work with t-shirts is and sweaters, for that matter, the same thing. My biggest mental speed bump is that when I look at a t-shirt and I think to myself, okay, so it's, let's say it's polka dot. Let's say it's like white and pink polka dots. And I think, I like those colors. And I like polka dots, right? Oh, good, I get a pattern. So it's going to make a pattern, right? So that'll be fun seeing what kind of pattern emerges. Uh, with t-shirts and anything printed, not really textured wool because a bit more predictable. But with t-shirts and stuff, you just don't know if it's a printed one, how it is going to hook up. And you sample it, whatever. T-shirt doesn't do well if you keep pulling it out and rehooking it, right? It kind of gets stretched out. Depends on how much stretch is in the t-shirt to begin with. But with t-shirt and printed, like with any garment that you cut up, it can be unpredictable how it's going to perform if there's any print in it at all, right? So that is always on my mind. That's something that I always think about when I choose, because there was a time when I was hoarding t-shirts and I didn't like hooking with them as much as I thought either. I do love hooking with them, but I ended up mostly with solids because I found it so frustrating, um, you know, that I couldn't anticipate what my hooking was going to look like once I filled an area in. So different things for different people, right? We all like what we like. I also want to show you from Valerie some very different pieces. I think it's great that you are experimenting, right? That's what the game is all about, right? Things for your bag of tricks. So you wrote the last question mark. Oh, Naomi, great to see you. Ah, we're still at the beginning. Great to see you. Um, oh, was it glitching during the t-shirt polka dot thing? Oh no. Is it still glitching now? Is it still glitching? I'm looking at my mouth to see if it looks like it's glitching. Okay. Dang it, Jane. Thanks for letting me know. I'm going to keep working on figuring out what to do about that. I might have to just set up in the basement. Oh, awful. So Valerie, you wrote the last question mark of the grandchildren's rugs. Does that mean you're wondering if it's the last rug or the last grandchild? Sylvia has a hunter for a father, and her mom is from Pennsylvania. Ooh, so Sylvia means of the woods. Yep, I forgot that. And Sylvan, right, is the counterpart. Very nice. Of the woods. How beautiful is that? This piece is 24 by 30 on white burlap, thrifted, woven, and sweater wools, some yarn, and some custom overdyed. 9 hidden critters. Oh, well, okay. I see the butterfly, the buck, the cardinal, the fox. I'm looking at it very small. I think I see a wild turkey. Um, I see one, two, three more creatures on the ground. I see a bluebird in the sky. I see one more character on the branch of a tree. Let me see if I can make it a little bit bigger. Mine is very, very small. My view is very, very small. But what a lot of fun Sylvia is going to have finding the critters, right? That is so much fun. I love seeing the deer buck. I never know what the right word is in the background as like a reference to the father, right? That really is so sweet. It is fabulous, Ursula says. Love the idea of the hidden items. Me too. Oh, how fun. And I love the image. I love the three trees. You must be a magician, Valerie, seriously, because I don't know how you manage to do three trees with branches and like they're fairly busy, and you still manage to do Sylvia in text right across that scene. You did a great trick, which is you have that bar of like the lighter color, right, from the grass, like in the distance. You have that bar so that the Sylvia really stands out against it, and it looks perfect. Um, I would have worried and agonized that the lettering wouldn't show up against the tree, but it completely does because you did choose a really fussy font. It is a gorgeous, very feminine font, but it's one that would have made me nervous to hook at all because it's very fancy. But you did a beautiful job with it. You have more text on the side. You created a very traditional, very sweet scroll with hearts, right? Lots of love built into this rug, flowers. I really love the image. And yeah, and Judy agrees the text is really, really good. And that is the hard part. The beading around the edge creates more interest, right? I just love the colors. I love that central image. And I just love the way it goes with the outer image, with the Art Deco colors, right? The teal, the pinks, the gray, the Wedgwood blue. In my mind, those two color palettes, right? The warmness of the central one with the leafy greens and the warm browns. I would never think that that would go with the border. And it goes like magic. It goes like alchemy. It's one of those things you don't know until you're doing it, but I would have never thought to do that either. So for me, this is a great education just staring at this rug because it's the idea of like embedding things in it, right? The characters to find, super fun, but just the playfulness of the border, right? A much more traditional border, and then that central image, the font. I mean, it's just glorious. It's just a gorgeous piece. Lots of nice comments coming into. Jessica says, I love all the little characters. It is just such fun. Charlotte says, not rug hooking right now. Oh no, hand surgery on your left hand, and I'm left-handed. Oh. Well, hey, you get well soon, but in the meantime, you can come up with ideas and inspiration, and you can still be rug hooking in your head, right? You can be thinking and planning, soaking in the inspiration. This rug is a great rug for soaking in the inspiration. Um, Valerie, I just love that rug. Sylvia is going to love that. That is just so good. It's not even cute, right? It's really good. It's also cute, but it is really, really good. I want to go back to Diane's comments. Wouldn't it be interesting to do a small hit or miss, uh, play it where it lies, golfing challenge? Ah, I get it. Golfing style challenge. I didn't know that expression, play it where it lies. So wherever it lands, you play it from there. That's a golf term, I guess. Golfing style challenge where you don't pull out anything, do you do? Maybe for Summer Magpie, teach us fussy technical ones. That's a great idea. You know, that is a great idea. It's a great idea for several reasons. It's a great experiment um, in self-control, right? It's a great experiment in doing it, and then it's a great experiment in self-control to be able to look at it and say to yourself, "Hang on, I'm not going to immediately start ripping stuff out. Just hang on and let's see. Let me work through this in my brain and see if I can sort of reconcile and make peace with it not being perfectly distributed, right? All of the different colors. That would be a great experiment. And it could be that in the end, some people end up moving some colors, right? For a different look, for a more cohesive look, uh, or a more even look. Who knows? But then other people might say, you know what? I like things to be imperfect. It was fun and it feels different to me having it be like scatter buckshot, right? Like scatter shrapnel all over the place. Really interesting. Shay, good to see you. And let's see, I had to force in the brighter blue. I want to come back to that photo. Let me see, an heirloom for sure, Naomi says. That's a great idea. That's a really great idea. Someone else sent me a great idea this week. Wait, let me think for 1 second to my email. And I have not forgotten the idea. I've been putting the ideas down because Berta. Um, my memory is still very, very good. There's the volume. It's the volume that gets me. Um, Berta also had the idea this week where she said, let's see, she was looking forward to the next challenge. She said, "What about doing another challenge with um, like a basket or a vase, and then doing the punching and hooking and filling it with different supplies?" And I said that would be a great challenge to go with the sandwich bag challenge that I still haven't done, but I would like to do that in the near future. The sandwich bag challenge where you just stuff a sandwich bag with supplies, pass it out, and send it to another person. And then you would use what they sent you to fill in like the flowers or whatever, or make quillies or whatever. I can see both of those ideas going together really well. I also really love this idea. You know what? Tomorrow, while I'm having my joyride with Ted, when we sit down for breakfast, that's what I'm going to think about. Um, I'm going to think about. I have one email to send that I already know, but I'm also going to be thinking about, um, and that's for you, Dondi, this challenge thing and getting it out really quickly. Um, if anybody feels they would like to arrange a challenge and do the coordination part, if not, I understand. But yeah, I think let's plan at least one challenge in the immediate future. Okay, so let me come back over here. I think that's a great idea. And Valerie says, I had to force in the brighter blue into Sylvia because the plain green got lost. Oh, it's more of a green. I see. Well, that bright blue is doing a lot of heavy lifting then because it really pops it. I mean, it really does look like an illumination. The text and the way that the text is filled in, you can see the individual loops or yeah, in the text. Um, I get that, and that makes a lot of sense. I also love the way that does have a greenish sort of cast to it, the word Sylvia. I love how it goes but doesn't match the blue text in the border. I absolutely love that. It's one of my favorite tricks to put colors together that are very similar but not the same. It's a great challenge for your eyes because it's still harmonious, but it creates a lot of interest. And unless the person, catches what you're doing, it's just one of those many tricks that makes something look like it has this magic cast to it. And it's a very simple trick that for me, that's happening with the two fonts in the different colors. It's like really magic. Okay, and let me look at, let's see. I feel like there's bugs on me because I have ticks on the brain. Let's look at this one. So, um, this is a wool applique jean jacket. It was inspired by your granddaughter's seventh birthday. What a little sweetheart. And her pet hedgehog, Pip. Oh my God. Oh my God. I used fusible web to iron on and whip stitched around the edges. I can see that, like you did the whipping around the edges of the applique. Um, it came out fantastic. She must love this jacket. Little old Pip, what a cutie. This is cute as a button. This really, is this Sylvia? This is really so, so, so cute. Uh, I love it. I just love it. What a great idea. We've seen a lot of Backets lately, right? We've seen a lot of that. I've seen some new styles of Backets too. This is a great idea, doing applique onto something. And a beloved pet, right? So sweet. I know it. Exactly. Give your rug a chance. Happy accidents. Yep. Catching up on the comments here. Darling jacket. It really is so cute. I love the name Pip for the little pet too, right? Like the little hedgehog, like what a Pip. Oh, how cute. So cute. I'm looking at your stitching and stuff. It really is sweet. She looks really happy, right? She's modeling her jacket. She's got her hair tucked into the collar so you can see all of the parts of the stitching, right? She's not covering any of it. She's got the hair contained to do this modeling. She is a little she is a little darling too. What a little sweetheart. Absolutely beautiful. Valerie, you did a gorgeous job. Absolutely love all of these projects. You sent us a great variety, right? You sent us the two t-shirt ones, right? The one you designed with the circles, and you sent the hit or miss. Those are very different. You're practicing, seeing if you liked it. Wasn't your favorite, but you did a great job. And then you sent us the Sylvia rug, which is just absolute gorgeous heirloom. And then the jacket with Pip. I mean, so, so nice. Love the wearable art. So cute. Really is so cute. Oh, that little one. Okay, so let's see. I'm going to move on and I want to show you. Okay, this was really exciting for me. Dondi Duffy sent in something that you are going to eat up right here. So get ready, right? Get focused, get close to your screen. Oh, that was not Sylvia. I wouldn't recommend having a hedgehog as a pet. Cute, but definitely not cuddly. Yeah. Oh, it's funny that you say that because well, not both of my kids, but Jocelyn is always asking for a hedgehog. They are so cute. But right now with Buttons the dog and Pitter Pat the cat, right? I don't think it would be a great idea. But yeah, not cuddly, but so cute. So, Dondi, you did something incredible here. So all right. And just like with Kirsten, you sent me slides with content, and I really appreciate that because it helps. I don't have anything to read other than this slide. So let's look at this, right? Look at this and be prepared to get excited. I found this amazing drawing while I was browsing the Met, right, the Metropolitan Museum of Art website, and immediately imagined this as a punch needle project. How amazing I thought this would be if it came to life in fiber. The drawing was in a book circa 1558. The designer was Venetian and it was published in Paris. I just adore the way the treetop forms a square shape. You see that? Over on the right, right? The oversized leaves and fruit simplify the design and are so pleasing in this composition. And then Dondi writes, I was so happy to see this is in the public domain. And with the arrow that circles public domain, right? And I do appreciate that because we never do here. We know we've been together for a while, this group here, and we know about copyright and how it works in public domain and all of that. And now I think we're at 1929. We might be at 1930. So everything before then is in the public domain, unless there are exceptions, but they are few. You cannot count on them. You cannot count on using Disney images and things like that. You have to check. But something that is 1558 obviously is in the public domain. But you should pay attention and you should look, and it's serious, right? It's serious, doing things by the book. It's good form, best foot forward. So I'm just going to unlock this for a minute, and and this is why it's great to look at these amazing, endless archives of art institutions like the Met, like universities, like large libraries, museums, and galleries. Because when you do find stuff that is out of copyright, it's there for you, right? It's there for you to be inspired. I'm gonna. Sorry, I can't. I don't think you can see my cursor, right? And by the way, how has the sound been lately? So I'm looking at this piece and thinking what Dondi was looking at that she liked the most. And I'm thinking it was the oversized tree with the oversized leaves and fruit and that bird on top. And there is at least one animal down below. It's like the whippet or the greyhound or something, and then some rocks. But the tree really does have um, a really strong graphic pull. I would go as so far to say that I would be shocked if William Morris never saw this image, right? Because think about it. Think about his strawberry thief motif. All of his tree designs, they really look like this. And what's so William Morris, of course, he comes hundreds of years later. What's so William Morris about this piece? Well, it's a square, right? And because it's a square, even though William Morris does a lot, this is not William Morris, right? This is 1558. William Morris does a lot of repeat pattern, right? Because he's a textile designer, wallpaper designer. He relies on pattern. Something that makes a square makes a great pattern because it becomes like a tile pattern, right? You just put one next to the other if that's what you mean to do. So there's a hundred, if not a thousand, reasons why this would be an interesting piece to make, right? Because the lines to it are really compelling, right? There's a lot of interest in this piece. So with that in mind, moving on to the next amazing slide, I drew it out roughly using Inkscape software. Now, has anybody else heard of Inkscape? I have not. I was very excited to get this lead. I thought it was super generous to share that sort of insider info. Dondi says, I simplified many parts of it, removed the dogs. Okay, so there were multiple dogs, and made the tree standing on a small hill. I think that's brilliant. I made it 13 by 14 inches and printed it to paper. It had to be printed to span across multiple 8 by 5 by 11 paper, so like printer paper, and taped together. Thank you for that as well, because that is important to know how people manage to do these things, right? You print it out, it comes out over several pieces of paper, and then you cut the margins off and you tape them together, right? So thank you for saying that that's how you did this, because everybody wonders what everyone else does, I'm sure. And Dante says, then I traced it on weaver's cloth using a light box. Very good. So we can expect a mini punch in a moment, right? Using a light box. Perfect. I found some wool yarn thin enough to fit through my mini ultra punch needle. Great find. I was very nervous to start because this was my first punch needle project. I think it turned out great for a beginner, and I'm so excited to do more. So I know you want to know how it turned out. I'm going to show you, but let me just sit here for a second to say Inkscape software. I wrote this down. I probably don't have the intelligence, techno intelligence to use this, but this was very exciting to me. And if you think about it, when we look back at the image, the inspiration image, it could be done as cross stitch, it could be done as needlepoint, it could be done as rug hooking, as mini punch, as anything, right? I mean, it looks almost like a weaving pattern, right? Interesting. Just further proof that you can I'm sorry, I'm distracted now that I'm looking at it. It is fantastic. You can do anything with it. And here we are again, the original woodcut below from 1588. And Dante says, I think I will finish this for a wall hanging, but it might also make a great pillow because it is large, right? You remember the specs on it. It is large. This is astonishing. Like I honestly cannot flipping believe that this is a first punch project. This is like cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, nutty nutskins. Like this is crazy. Look at what is going on here. I'm looking at the tree bark, and I know this is like got to be a variegated color that like keeps changing, but my God, the color sense and the color choice is unreal. It's complete, right, Kirsten? It is completely. Thank you, Dave. I'm glad the sound is holding on. Another thing that I'm looking at is the white background. And this is just incredible. I'm wondering if this is the reverse of the mini punch, or if it's the working side, or if it's the, as we used to say, like right side, because there's so much motion in that white background. How can it be so perfect? How can it be so perfect? Seriously, that is, and the green. So we have got the tree trunk, the grassy green, which doubles for the leaves, I think pomegranates, or the fruits, all one color, the tree trunk, the white background, the blue bird, and the brown feet. And that is it. So that is 7 colors, right? Even if you are using Valdani, that was a crappy thing to say, sorry. Um, I mean, because it's expensive, right? Because it's quite expensive. You wouldn't have much to buy, right? It would work out. This is just extraordinary. I'm so curious about whether this is the working side or we have to think of a different word for right side now because it's not appropriate to say the right side anymore when so many people choose to use the working side, and for them that is the right side. I feel like it's being a jerk or digging in to say the right side because it implies that you are doing it wrong, right? Just by uh, the force of language. But this is amazing. This is completely amazing. Who would have thought that this 1558 woodcut could turn into something so colorful and vibrant, and that white background is so brilliant. It's so tidy. It's crisp. It's it's such a good piece. It really is such a good piece. It is like one for the ages. Great. Mini Punch can go either way. This is a great piece. Dondi, you did a great job. And I can't tell you how much I appreciate being walked through the steps like that. I think we all appreciate it, knowing how you figured things out. This being your first Mini Punch project, seeing what you chose as you went along and how you figured it all out. Uh, it's it's wonderful to know what the process was for you because the result was crazy good. So if that was your process, a lot of people will be thinking, I'm going to do it the same way in those same steps with the light box, with the tape, with the printing and taping it together. It's an absolutely gorgeous piece. Absolutely gorgeous. Diane says, I love how the tree turned out, and I love the 1558 source picture too. Love the greyhounds. Yeah, I see the other one now. Yeah, it's just great. And it just goes to show, this is another argument for when people see you on your phone or you're on your computer and it's like, what are you doom scrolling? What are you doing on there? Doom scrolling? It's like, no, I'm looking at 16th century woodcuts for inspirational, textile art projects. There's a million things you could be doing on your computer that are amazing things to do. Everybody needs to doom scroll sometimes, right? We need to do that sometimes, but there's so many amazing things you can do on your computer and Charlotte for you too, or your phone when you're not able to do other things that can still bring you a lot of joy. And honestly, when you think about it, when you're planning a project, isn't it almost more fun than doing the project? I mean, maybe I shouldn't say that out loud, but for me, the planning the project, finding supplies or shopping for supplies, and the first 5 minutes of hooking for me, this is an awful thing to admit, are my favorite times. Now, and then the first 5 minutes are great. And then usually the next 20 hours are painful. And I think, oh, I screwed that up. I'm going to have to pull that out. Oh, look at me screwing everything up. That's amazing. Who could screw up so many things in one piece? And then the last few hours, it's like, oh, it all came together as it always does. Fantastic. I love it, right? I love it. And it leaves you feeling like, yes, I love this. I love this process. But there is often part of the process that is less fun. So you can have fun even before the project begins. That's for sure. That's not just a hooking thing, is it? Uh, this is almost a complete Magpie Times article. Jane, it's funny that you said that because I was just talking to Dante about this today, and this will be part of the fall issue. We will flesh it out a little bit, but this is a good walkthrough for the fall issue, and we were sort of brainstorming other ideas. That's the first thing I have to do when I sit down at breakfast tomorrow is send Dante an email because we're going to try to get together over Zoom and talk about some of this stuff and think through some of this stuff because this is raw talent right here, right? So yeah, I love to tap in when people are willing to submit stuff here for us to share on gallery nights and willing to share stuff in Magpie Times. I always love to greet that with a huge friendly and personal thank you and yeah, let's go because this is great work and it's a great idea. And whether it is what do you look for, Ted? Snackies? Remember we got the cookies today? Yeah, we got the cookies. We got the chewy chocolate chip cookies. Yeah, that's okay. Um, yeah, and this is just a reminder that whether it's a 1558 woodcut or it's your grandmother's what are they called? Work basket magazine of a cross stitch, right? Some of those are early 20th century. It's going to work the same way, isn't it? In terms of like laying it out and yeah, just a great piece. Absolutely stunning. And I used this as the thumbnail for tonight's show. Absolutely fabulous. Ab fab. Oh my gosh, this was another. Let me make this a little bit bigger. Becky, this is another one that blew my mind. So I'm not going to tell you yet. Sorry, I'm struggling with buttons here. Not buttons the dog, buttons the buttons. Um, guess what sort of textile this piece is hooked onto? I'm going to let it hang there for a minute as I admire the piece. Um, I just thought that this was so funky. Okay, that was a clue. I thought this was super funky, and it blew my mind. My mind started racing, and I just thought, dang it, I just love this group so much, so much. I love how out there we go with projects. So many of us do like really experimental stuff, trying different things. um, it's so exciting, and so many of us do traditional stuff. I'm mostly traditional. Knitted backing, nope, that's a good guess. It's something very particular, but you're going to know what it is. And this is exactly the right shape. That's another clue. Funky, and this is exactly the right shape. This thing would only come in this shape, at least I think at this time. This is a gorgeous hooking, right? This is so organic. It has shades of, nope, not upholstery fabric. Good guess. But that would be like a cushion shape or something. But nope, you're getting warmer. This reminds me of Hilma af Klint. This reminds me of every expressionist, Matisse, Chagall, just the really loose forms of the flowers, the patterning, the colorful outlining, not just outlining, but the colorful outlining. I love seeing the background of this material, knowing what it is. So I'm going to read you. Oh, that's a good guess too, Ursula. Coffee bean bag. Nope. Placemat. Nope. This is a hard one, right? This is why it really got me because when I saw it, I thought, oh, no, Becky, I didn't put it. Hold on. I don't. Oh, yeah, there it is. There it is. There it is. Yeah, I thought I cut out the thing. I mean, I know what it is, but I wanted your whole excerpt. Nope, not Rhea backing, but Shay, that's a great guess. So this is hard, right? Everybody's stumped by this, right? So Becky wrote, I just realized it was gallery night. If this one doesn't make it in, of course this one makes it in. I would be 2 minutes late just to get one more in. And when I am, it's usually in this. I wasn't late because of this today. But I love to get them in. I always love to get them in. You say, I just finished this yesterday and I haven't officially ironed it yet. It is 8 by 12. And the fun thing is, I did this on speaker acoustic fabric. So remember how speakers used to have fabric on them? And we don't really use speakers like that anymore. This is the speaker fabric, right? I mean, I assume that speaker acoustic fabric and left the background undone, almost like doing needlepoint with rug hooks, LOL, in kind of a learning curve. But I'm happy how it turned out. I'm not used to doing such small pieces. Oh, so this is a small piece. See, I figured this was a big speaker. This is a small piece. Oh, 8 by 12. Okay. It's a fairly small piece. That is a small speaker. Yep, I see what you mean. So that was fun too. If the picture isn't clear enough, no, this picture is great. I just love this piece. So that is a smaller speaker than I thought. Now, this was so interesting to me because I immediately regretted, when we moved, we had some speakers and stuff. Such a cool idea. And I so wish I don't have it and I will never have it. But like when I think about our record player growing up, the one that my dad, was like lorded over, like stacking up the records, how they used to drop down one by one. If only I had one of those speakers, I would love to hook. Not all speakers are hookable, right? They're not all wovens. There are some speakers in the 70s that look more like upholstery fabric. They have like a high pile, almost like a velvety or chenille look to them. But many speakers are a woven fabric and in a fairly neutral color. So, I mean, going way back. So interesting because depending on what you might be about to throw out, right? This is just a really quirky recycling idea, and I love it. And you're about to hit a lot of yard sales, I bet, wherever you are. I bet people have speakers out that cost like $5, right? Just what a cool thing. Depending on the size and the speaker and everything else, I wonder if it'd be possible to put it back into the speaker. Like you wouldn't play out of it. Maybe you could. I mean, it would be more muffled, but maybe you could play out of it. I don't know. Um, no, not recycling. LOL, Amazon. Oh, this one was from Amazon. Gotcha. But Becky, you could do it. You could do it by recycling the fabric on a speaker. You could. Yeah, no, this is a great idea. But you can also buy it by the yard. Interesting. Interesting. Well, I love it. I love it. And I think it's a great idea. And I'm going to look for speakers to see if I can do this because I would love to plug a speaker. We have two record players. No, I'm sorry, we have three record players. One in the living room, one in Teddy's room, and one downstairs where my husband works, where he plays his punk rock records. And I mean, they go right through my bones and my ears bleed from downstairs. I could do something like this on his speakers. I'll tell you that, but I wouldn't. I wouldn't. But I have a little record player up here where I listen to my show tunes on records. And I would love to do something like this. I love this piece. I love this piece. Like, I want this piece. I love this piece. I feel like I would love to do a speaker that I could. Oh my God, I wonder if you could open up the back of a speaker and just like hook while it's on the speaker. Just thinking like would that be possible? Because I'd like to hook it's like a few little things on it just for decoration and keep them over there. We've only actually got one speaker plugged in right now, and it's like a plastic one, all plastic, no fabric. But say I replaced that with like one fabric speaker that had a little bit of hooking on it, and say it was a little bit muffled. Well, who cares? You know what I mean? Like the quality is not like crazy, like it is in the car anymore with the records. And since we have three record players, it's like who cares? You know, um, but yeah, and we also have two small speakers hooked up also that can be moved. Like if you're sitting in a chair, you can like stretch one of the cords over and put it on the table so it's like louder next to you. So I could keep those going and still have a hooked speaker. I love this idea. Hooked speaker would be muffled, but it would be neat next to a side table. That's oh oh God. Okay. That's a great idea too. Would be muffled. So that's something to consider. But if it only had a little bit of hooking, it would only be a little bit muffled. Maybe. Let's say, l- let's say I got like a pair of speakers at a yard sale and I found it and it looked like a woven material that I could hook into. Let's say I put one of them there since that's a one speaker system we got going anyway. Let's say I put one of them there with just a tiny bit of hooking. And let's say I hook the other one and it was like a little side table, right? Like a little cocktail. It would be low unless it was a big speaker. Scalable. This is a scalable idea. But yeah, you could put on the mantle or on whatever by the fireplace. But you could also, if it was large enough, put one right next to you, like as a little side table, right? And it's just a box, but it would have like a hooked front. You put like magazines and stuff. How cute would that look? Oh, I just love this idea. And people would look at it and go, "Oh, that's a speaker, isn't it?" I love that. Hook speaker. Yep. All right. That's a great idea. Looking at antique store too. I'm gonna have that's on my list. So there's not a lot of stuff on my list right now. I'm trying to like not spend too much, like holiday coming up and just going to two camps this summer. But that's something I can look at that wouldn't be expensive. I wouldn't expect that to be expensive, like an old speaker. Savers, Goodwill, they always have speakers, don't they? Facebook Marketplace. See, the thing about Facebook Marketplace, though, is if you don't see the speaker in person, it might not be hookable. You're going to know if it's hookable when you look at it because it will have a little bit of stretch and be a woven, right? Like a woven. But if you see it on Facebook Marketplace and then you go over someone's house and it's not the right kind, it would be like, I would end up buying it anyway because I wasted their time and I'd be embarrassed. So maybe it's good to find it in the wild, find a speaker in the wild. Just make sure it's not completely hooked solid, lots of open patches throughout. Yeah. Yeah, I love this idea. This is so fun. If someone ends up doing this soon, and Becky, you too, you should put this into Magpie. This is another great Magpie idea. Like, um, I didn't realize that this was a small one. I thought this was like a big, like 80s speaker because what you hooked into it looks like really involved. You did a really good job with a small piece. I just love it. I so super love it. It's a great idea. It's a great conversation starter for us. It made us really think, and I just love it. Great job, Becky. It really is fantastic. Um, Another very cool project. This is a lot of cool projects today. Let me just wet my whistle real fast. There we go. Um, Diane, did you say just make sure it's not completely hook solid for a safety reason or just because of the muffle factor? I wonder if there's anything about like speakers that you have to be careful about, like covering the um, speaker part. Um, so, okay, here we are. So, listen. Oh my God. This is another amazing piece by, you know, the handle Jumping Jehoshaphat, but this is Jamie. So Jamie sent this piece in. Let me just find, no, wait a minute, wrong page. Yep, there we go. Let me find what he wrote. I'm also blow for sound. Okay, good. I was hoping it wasn't like heat or something like that. See, I am a ding dong with many things. So we've seen Jamie's work before. It is epic and legendary. It is, I mean, he's like a younger guy, a proper artist, like really doing crazy experimental stuff, totally walking, what's that expression about drummers and beats and walking to your own drummer? Jamie is totally walking to his own drummer. And I mean, his work is just so varied and conceptual, right? um, but also relatable, right? Sometimes conceptual art, no matter whether it's textile art or music or whatever, is like, oh please. But Jamie's work is so um, relatable is maybe the wrong word, but it's approachable, right? It's not confusing to look at, but it always has something embedded that is wild and crazy. Dondi, so glad that you're there. Oh, I'm so glad you heard that. Yes, the off-white background um, was reverse punched, but with the flat stitches. I just want to pause for a second to say to Donji, thank you so much for letting us know that. We're talking about that punched piece, right, with the white background and the tree. It's great to. I never even considered the possibility of doing mini punch in reverse. I have not seen that myself yet, and I never even thought about it. So thank you for putting that in front of us because that was incredible. And it was a great idea. This is a great episode for great ideas, right? So, Jamie, oh my God. So, okay, Jamie writes, hope all is well with you. Can I add Madamal? I'm not sure I'm saying that right. Madamal, to gallery night tonight. Not sure if you need a blurb. So, Madamal is a visual interpretation of an operation in machine learning. Okay, so already there, I'm a little bit lost, but just hang on for a second. Um, and what he means by an operation in machine learning is he put in parentheses matrix multiplication. Okay, so I'm still lost. Maybe you're better than me, but I'm starting to understand. It feels like circuitry to me, and it reminds me of that awesome piece that lit up. Remember that piece that was on the burlap bag? So Jamie says, to create this rug, I imagined how this operation might look if it existed in 3 dimensions. The majority of the squares are depicted as cubes, illustrating the depth of information that artificial intelligence uses to answer even simple queries. So while I didn't, he's writing this in perfectly ding dong terms, right? I mean, like because he teaches. I'm pretty sure he teaches AI or some aspect of AI, right? So he understands the language. He understands um, the action words, right? When I look at this, I think it looks like machinery, more specifically circuitry. And in that way, I guess I'm sort of right. It's the right vibe anyway. So it's even a step further in Jamie's mind. He's thinking to himself, he's thinking about how artificial intelligence works, right? How AI works. And he's trying to picture it in 3 dimensions. So this is almost like I can't even equate it, right? It's very abstract. It's like if Jamie were a poet, right, he would be writing about how this thing works in the busyness and the busyness, but also the things that are the same, right? The things that match up. The shapes that are the same, the things that repeat, right? There is a sort of routine and a highly technical aspect of all kinds of machinery, including computer circuitry. I don't know if that's the right word with computers, but this pattern, it repeats, right? It has a rhythm to it. It repeats in shape and motif. It also repeats in color. So there is a rhythm. It's not exact. There's still something there's still something organic about the way that it feels. Oh, some glitches. Damn it. All right. Let me see if I'm glitching here. Okay. I'm okay here. I hope this episode is okay. I'm so sorry, everybody. Some glitches are good, but the graphic rug is so interesting. It's mind blowing. Okay. I agree. Um, and Judy says, "Oh, that's beautiful. I was going to comment on how dimensional it is. Certain components seem to be floating right up off the surface. Absolutely. That's so true, isn't it? It's so true. It's such a magical piece. Jamie is so good. He is like going to be like a textile art. He is a textile art superstar. I think he's in Canada. He might already be a textile art superstar. I'm just learning about him like in recent months, and it blows my mind. Um, Diane says, Al Putter rug makes my head AI pewter rug makes my head buzz. Wonderful rug. My IT nephew would want it. It has it has so much. It has that traditional hooking feel, right? You can see the loops, you can feel the loops, you can feel the texture. It's familiar. It's familiar to us. It has a repeat pattern, right? A little bit like stained glass, little bit like what else? What else does it remind you of? Not text. Maybe architecture, like a little bit of an architecture feel. Um, there are elements of it that are familiar. The colors are so cheerful that it seems like it's something other than a concept, like a visual concept of AI, right? It's so cheerful. It's not gray and black and white, right? It's wild and it's not unstable. It's a very stable rock because the color is so Mondrian. Thank you. It's very like Mondrian. It's very it's very modern, right? Like plaid circuits, if that was a thing. Absolutely. The plaid looks like almost like a woven, like overshot, right? We were talking about plaid the other day because we were thinking about Jill GYL Robbins, right? And how she teaches the hooking with plaid. It has some of that. It has some of so much. Has some mid-century modern to it too. If you look at the way the squares overlap, the colors as well, right? The brown with the black with the white. White is a very MCM color, and the pink and the yellow and the light blue and the red. This is a super mid-century modern palette, and then some, right? And then some. It's really interesting to me that the motif that my eye comes to the most immediately is the one that appears like sort of brownish with a darker background. And I think that is really interesting because that's such an earthy color and it is the main motif. It still looks like circuitry, even with that brown in place. I mean, it's so unusual. Um, the red whipping around the edges, final flourish in my mind, it blows my mind literally and metaphorically. It's just incredible. um Remember, jump in Jehoshaphat, that's the handle on Facebook, and we've looked at a lot of Jamie's rugs, and hopefully we'll look at more. He's putting something into the next magpie, the magpie after. I'm hoping that he will contribute regularly, because he's coming from Canada. That in itself is different, right? We're seeing different work coming out of Canada right now for sure. And he's doing very, very different work, very unique work, and that really speaks to his interests and his work. And because of that, I mean, I just find the fusion of, um, talking about AI. And I sent a message to Jamie this afternoon. I hope it didn't sound snarky. I don't think it did, right? Because always very friendly when we write back and forth. But I said to him, if you have time at some point, can you just explain, like, I like, because I know he teaches AI, like, just explain what about AI is good to me besides science and math, right? Besides science and math and those kinds of things. Because like I'm really down on AI, right? I'm really tired of seeing profile pictures changing every day and like so much AI used for like as a toy, because it is very bad for the environment and it you know water, right? What once we use our water, we're in a really bad situation. Uses an incredible amount of water, so it's like I'm like just explain it. I want to understand because like I love that AI is there for life and death things. I don't like that it's so available as a toy right now. I don't like that part. I would prefer personally if it was used for things that it is most suited to. It is scary unleashed in my mind. So I just said, just tell me more so that I can be more comfortable with AI because he's comfortable with AI and he teaches it. He's excited about it. It's an inspiration. And I just said, tell me more about this because I want to understand, right? I might not agree, but I want to understand and not just that, but like I said, tell me about like the relationship between the work you do like with AI and your work as a traditional artist and a fiber artist at that, right? The tactile quality of fiber art. It's like in my mind two different worlds. He's such an interesting person. I hope he has time to respond. um if he doesn't, I will understand, but I'm just so curious because it's like, yeah, pendulums swung so far with those two things, and they're both present in this rug. And this rug is a phenomenal success and an insane inspiration to me. Uh, yeah, this is like, so many rugs we're looking at tonight and projects we're looking at tonight are really offering us more than a visual. They're offering us like unlimited, inspiration, untapped amount of ideas and mileage that you can get out of some of these ideas that we're seeing tonight. I just love this so much. Speaking of which, here comes another one. My good buddy Naomi, I don't know if you're still on, has been working on these carousel animals. Now, I know we've seen, I think it was the horse we were looking at when I visited her in her biatch barn. You see what I did there? And we recorded a show there. And I think we saw one here. Maybe it was the elephant because I don't think I've seen the giraffe in person. I just love this carousel as it comes together. This is a three-dimensional project that Naomi is working on. And of course, Naomi is also Ravensgate Primitives. So she writes, here's my carousel critters. I really haven't thought beyond actually making them. But I guess if anyone, oh, I said to her, send me information if you're selling these in any way as patterns. But I guess if anyone is interested in one as a pattern, I can put a listing up on Etsy. So there you go. If you're looking, so she's been making these, and this is like a pet project. And oh, good, good, good. Um, and they're just coming out so pretty and fun and funny. I mean, they are so quirky. They're stuffed, right? They're like stuffed animals. Do people say stuffed animals anymore? Um, and they're like tiny. They're tiny little guys, and they remind me of summer and carousels and screaming and laughing and writing cotton candy, and all of those great memories put into one. They are done in such a pretty way. Like, look at the spots on the giraffe, his little saddle. Look at the, I guess, saddle on the elephant. I think that's still the word with the little tassels and the little jewel. The horse all decked out, right, with this like pretty harness, the ribbons on the horse's poll. Like, they're so thoughtful. They're so well done. They are so pretty. I love, there are so many people out there who are done with rugs, who are done with wall stuff, who are done with bell pulls, who are done with mug rugs, and are looking for something that's a little bit different to do. This is a great offering, right? These three-dimensional projects, we see them more and more lately. But not enough, right? There has to be a lot more options out there for us as hookers because if we like hooking, we want to be able to make lots of things with our hooking, and this is another great example of what you can do that isn't a two-dimensional project. These really jump out at you. Naomi, I have to ask, are you doing more? And I say to her in person, like, are we making a whole carousel here? Because if so, there are so many carousel museums out there. I know there's one in Connecticut. I know there's one on Cape Cod. And I know there's more that I've probably forgotten about, but I know there's a lot of carousel museums out there. And I think any place that displays folk art would be interested because carousel carving is also considered a folk art, right? That was something that people would learn from like their mentor. They would have like there would be an apprentice situation with the early carving of carousel. So, and each carver of a carousel, right? Like I think of Charles Dare, right? He was a very famous early carousel carver. His masterpieces it vies for the title of first. It might or might not be first, right? There's lots of qualifiers with carousels, but he might have the first carousel, and that is on Martha's Vineyard in Oak Bluffs. Also, Watch Hill in Rhode Island has what they call the oldest carousel, but that's a different carousel. It's a flying horses carousel. So yes, it's a carousel, but remember how the flying horses carousel that only the top was attached. They were for children, right? You as an adult with like full weight body would not work, but they were attached at the top. And as the thing picked up speed, it's the centrifugal force kind of spun out the rods, and you would fly out a little bit because it was not attached at the bottom, right? Those were the flying horses carousel. So it is entirely possible that that's the first flying horses carousel and the other one is the first regular carousel. In any case, carousel carving was a really big deal back in the day and is absolutely considered a folk art. So our craft is considered a folk art. Carousel horses are considered a folk art. It seems to me we have a double whammy here. And Naomi says the ostrich is next. That will be great. Naomi, have you thought beyond the ostrich? Because I'm just thinking about there's so many weird ones that you see, like in Boston, there's a carousel that's only bugs. Down on the beach here in God, we never go anymore. Naomi, what's the beach called here? Uh, Over near like Madison, uh, God, the beach, like the beach in Connecticut. We didn't go last year and it's already slipped my mind. But they have a carousel across the street at the restaurant that has like a cat and I forget some other animals that are just unexpected. And then you often see that swan thing, right? It's like a seat for people who don't want to go up and down. They sit in the swan thing, and that's really pretty. Yeah, this is like a never ending, right? This could be an addiction that lasts forever. And they are super fun. It seems to me like after the first one that you did, you probably mastered the technical problems, like what to do with the hole, how to get making the rod, right? I'm guessing Aaron made the rod in the little block at the bottom, but just making the hole, stitching up the two sides. You probably figured those technical things out with the horse, which I think was the first one. And it's probably a lot easier and quicker now that you're doing the others. You have figured out how to hide loops and how to hide seams with loops, probably, right? So cool. Ham and asset. Yeah, that's it. Thank you so much. Yeah, there's a carousel across the street at that fish place that now I'm never going to be able to think of the name of. It's super famous, but there's a little carousel there too. You're going to try a seat next. Oh, that will be cool. That will be cool. Oh, a kelpie. A kelpie. Is a kelpie like a mythical fish person? Is that a kelpie? I know it's like an Irish mystic kind of an animal, a kelpie. It's a person, right? A kelpie. Is a kelpie also evil? Is that an evil sea creature? Somewhat. I learned something new with each animal. I guess they would all pose different challenges. If anybody's ever sewn stuffed animals or knitted or crocheted stuffed animals, then you know. I have, right? Because these kids have always been plush crazies and had me knitting and sewing the most literally unbelievable things. Like right, like I did a plush toy of a laptop, and the screen was open, and it had buttons. Right, really good use of time. Actually, it was a good use because they consider that an heirloom. But yeah, but don't do those crazy things. Kelp horse. Okay, kelp horse that would drown people. Oh no, bad kelpie. That would be a cool one though, wouldn't it? The dark side. Half of the carousel could be like the happy animals, and the other side could be like the Ray Bradbury, something wicked this way comes, the dark side of the carousel. Spin it around. Hippocam is horse head, Jane, horse head. Jane, I still have to send you those images. I just haven't had time yet, but I will soon, I promise. I will soon. Hopefully this weekend. Horse head with mermaid tail. Ooh, horse head with mermaid tail. Okay. Oh, how funny. Yeah. It would be fun to do some fusion animals too. It's a great project. It's got us thinking and brainstorming. So you know it's a great project. Really is absolutely beautiful and super fun. Now my mind is spinning, pun intended. Oh, I love it. It's so super fun. What a great piece. And keep us posted. I can even come visit you and we can harass you while you work on your next piece. Barbara sent in another mini punch piece. We never get mini punch pieces, and we get two great ones in one day. So Barbara sent in her message says, I always admired mini punch embroidery, but didn't give it a try until about a year ago. I took the step because I had a stash of embroidery floss on hand from my cross stitch sampler days, and I wanted a new way to use them. In rug hooking, I use a lot of over-dyed and textured wools. In mini punch, I found it hard to use three strands of the same color and get the look that I wanted. I'm pretty sure I spend as much time blending single strands of assorted colors as I do punching. But you know what? I'm not done reading Barbara's part, but um, you're going to see that that's well worth the time in just a second. So what Barbara's describing is Haken from Norway, his method of getting a few different, we can do this with hooking and punching too. Say you have like three different kinds of yarn. If you cut a length, right, equal lengths, unply them and reply different ones together, then you get different combos. So we've talked about this before. I'll just remind you, let's say you have one um, color of yarn that's this color, one color of yarn that's this yellow color, and one that's white, right? Maybe that's a bad blend, but you could do a piece of yarn that has like three pinks and one white, or three pinks and one yellow, or two pinks and two yellows, right? Or one yellow, one pink, and two whites. You see how this goes, right? And they look completely different when you've got many of them sitting looped next to each other. How this could really create the most magical shifts in your piece, whether you're doing this in mini yarn or traditional punch or hooking, right? This is a great technique. So Barbara then says, so that's what she means by the plying and the blending the threads together. This cute pattern is from about 20,000, sorry, 2004. Good Lord, 2004. It may still be kicking around. It was mounted on a weathered board that was calling out to me. I'll show you that in just a second. And then she adds very kindly, there are so many ribbon candy hooking designs available in PDF form that are perfect for mini punch embroidery. Thank you for saying that. That is very true. And she says Caswell Carpet Collection comes to mind quickly. Barbara and I have been talking about mini punching some of the Caswell Carpet squares because there's so many of them. Like in theory, you could do the whole Caswell Carpet rug as mini punch. Um, and a lot of the antique patterns that I have would be really great as mini punch. So thank you for saying that. I do have a hell of a lot of PDFs there for you. They are super inexpensive and they arrive immediately. But this is like a vintage pattern that she had that she was working on. Let me show you um, close up of the bees. So you see when I say she's like blending, I mean, God, like look at the little wings, how they're like different colors. And one of them I can see is blended. There's like dit dots or polka dots in between. Those are blended colors, right? The background is blended. Like it, and you see how the bees have different colored wings, but from a distance, I'm going to show you it from a distance in a minute. They all look like bees and it all looks cohesive, but it's not till you look at it really close up. Oh, that you see all these colors. Like, isn't that a great idea? This is a whole conversation on color theory right here. Look at these colors. Just another sip of water. Okay, so let's come back. Wait a minute. Oops. Oopsie poopsies. There we go. So really small piece, right? So she found this little piece of wood or something and mounted it on there. Perfect. And then did like a little a little cord and flower. Really pretty, really cute. Mm. Thinking something like this would be a nice bookmark too if it was really, really small. Because what did she say? How big is this? She didn't say how big this one was. But if it was really small, you could do a little thing like this. If it was on a really thin piece of wood, you wouldn't want it on like balsa wood because then it would snap in half, right? But so cute, so cute. Yeah, you can see that the wings are different colors, but it doesn't make any difference. We get have those kind of golden honey colored polka dots, then the wings being different colors really adds so much to it. Because if you think about, and I do love the peach background, I don't think we see enough peach backgrounds in hooking and punching. I really don't. Because when we see a light background, and the exception is going to be Dondi's tree with the bird, the 1558 tree with the bird. Nothing would have suited that piece like a white background. Guaranteed. Nothing would have. But having said that, I wouldn't like to see a white background on this. I would like to see like these peach colors. It's just really cool color planning, and the fact that they're mixed, really cool. I love seeing the different color wings because for me, a lot of bees is a lot of black, yellow, and white wings. And honestly, I don't think it would have occurred to me that I could have done the wings in different colors. Let's look at this pattern again. Is Barbara just being an incredible genius here, or was this whole thing kitted? I couldn't. No, this is not. Should that this is her being a genius because it's bees in the original pattern. Very pretty. But for myself, I way prefer this. I way prefer the colorful quality of this. And again, another great reminder, this is an ideas episode for sure. Think about it. Think about what color you want to have in your background. What color was in the original? Okay, so it was like yellow in the original. Gotta say, I like the lift of the peach better. The peach lifts. Peach, light peach is almost like a soft neon. Like it lifts something more than a light yellow can. I don't know why, but it is true. And it's a great substitute for white because it is a color, like this creamsicle color, but it reads as a neutral when it's this light. It's just colorful enough to really pop all those rainbow wings, right? It's so pretty. So, so, so pretty. Just love this piece. Ursula, you sent a couple of gorgeous pieces too. Thank you so much for sending. And you gave me plenty of time, so no need to worry about that. Let me just find I had already printed my notes for tonight, so I'm looking at my phone. Oh, Barbara said it is using, okay, wait a minute. Let me come back here for a second. It is using up small bits of different colors. So this in a weird way is a hit or miss, right? Like, think about it. In a weird way, this is a hit or miss. You haven't gone crazy with tonal values. You don't have a dark purple or a navy wing in here. You also don't have white wings. You've chosen colors that are tonally similar, right? They have the same sort of value strength. And that's what makes this possible. Because when you look at it, it's bees. And then you look at it again and it's rainbow. It is absolutely gorgeous. And I love this color palette. Well, let's hold for 1 second. I just want to go back and catch this conversation before I move too far forward. Let me just catch this. I wanted to catch about the carousel animals. Okay, so there's some suggestions and stuff. And Diane says mythical animals make neat carousel animals. Definitely. And Naomi says, I'm thinking about a couple of mythical carousel animals that would be pretty great. Sage Gardens, Ruth, great to see you. Your company is gone and you are there now. Hello to you and Richard. We are having a fun episode tonight, but I bet you had fun with company and you know this is recorded for later. Good to see you. A hippograph from H. Potter and Fantastic Beasts movie animals, 1600s map, fish, sea monsters, myths everywhere, Diane says. Yay. That's so true. When I was with my sister the other day and she gave the talk at Yale, one of the paintings she was standing in front of was that portrait of the young girl. Had her boobs completely out, right? Like really strange costume for that period in time, and for such a young girl. But remember, her dress had like sea monsters on it, and I did a pattern for ribbon candy hooking with it, and quite a few people hooked that too. I thought that pattern would be impossible, but lots of sea monsters. The further back you go, the more sea monsters you get on maps, right? So cool. All right, let me just catch up here. How wonderful to make. Oh, my mom says, how wonderful to make a small piece and display it in a unique way like that. I love it. I love it too. I really loved that, Barbara. I loved the colors and I love bees. I always find bees repetitive, but leave it to you. Like, seriously, leave it to you to figure out how to make them really interesting and give it that soft sort of rainbow palette that is my favorite. And my mom says, I also love the varying color of the bee wings as a sense of dancing. It does. Fun. Just fun and for me, way more engaging. Um, yeah, I absolutely love. I didn't know you were working on that. Or maybe I don't know if you just did that piece, but I didn't see that in the works. Not that you have to show me everything, but I didn't see it in the works, and it blows me away. It's absolutely gorgeous. Speaking of blowing me away, Ursula wrote and said, just saw the post tonight. I have attached a couple of pics if it's not too late. Never too late for you, my love. If there is no room, nope, nope, always room. The first is I got them in the wrong order. Okay, let's do this one first. The second is a felted piece I designed called Lakeside Lupins. They are a popular roadside plant in Nova Scotia, which has spread from domesticated varieties brought here. Absolutely beautiful. We have these in New England too. I see a lot of these like up in Vermont. Absolutely beautiful. What is prettier than roadside um, lupins, right? So, so charming. And you know what this reminds me of? Ursula, I'm not sure if you were on way at the beginning, but when we looked at the first slide, it was Lonnie's slide, and she's also Canadian. She's from Yellowknife, way over on the other side. Oh, you were because you remarked that that was one of your bucket list places. And that piece with that one standing piece of fireweed is the same sort of concept as this, but done completely differently. This is also a composition that's made of layers, right? Ground and water and sky. And so it has very strong horizontals, but you created some very strong verticals too. And so that's what these two pieces have in common. Isn't that a funny coincidence? Like, really, these are like close ups of flowers in the foreground that are super vertical with a beautiful, gentle Canadian landscape in the background. But they couldn't be more different, these two pieces. Ursula, I just love this piece. I love the softness of it. I'm getting so interested in felting and stuff. I know I don't have time to do it anytime soon. I love seeing other people do it because it's so charming. It's so soft. It's like a lullaby, right? It's just the wisps of fiber, right? It's so sort of romantic the way that it moves like a breeze, like a sigh, right? The way that it falls and lays is controlled, but still has so much movement, right? And the ground seems a bit more worked, a bit less wispy than the sky. The ground has a different feel. And in the water, I feel like it looks sparkly. Are there sparkles in there or something else in there? So, so pretty. I love oh, Barbara says, love the horizontal in the sky. Yeah, those sweeping wisps of color change create great horizontal movement. I love how large the sky is, right? Because it looks like a fairly small piece. I love that so much of it is the big sky. Certainly the flowers are holding their weight here. It is, Valerie, very painterly. Perfect word. It is very painterly. The way that the felting came out, the way it's a little more controlled or tidy in the ground, more compact, right? Makes a lot of sense when you think about the texture of ground. And I'm guessing that the lupine themselves are also um, needled, but are they like little balls that just got needled in as little balls? Because they look more three-dimensional. They almost look like, remember silk work, like silk ribbon knotting and all that? God, was that so pretty on clothing and purses and collars and pins, remember? In the 80s and 90s. It reminds me of that. I'm going to make this a little bit bigger. I just want to look at everything. Oops, a little bit closer. That was the opposite of what I wanted to do there. Okay, here. And the sun is very, very pretty too. I don't want to miss the sun. And it's popped into a ready frame, right? So perfect. It looks like there's a little bit of Angelina in the water. Now, isn't that nice? Because even from a distance, I could see that sparkle. Oh, I can, Ursula. And now you saw me that because that was delayed. I can see the sparkle, and I could see it from a distance. I mean, it's work that Angelina, also Stellina. Those are just two different brands of the same kind of fiber. It's metallic fiber. Makes such a difference. You know, at this view, I can even see the little needle pricks, the little circles, right? And I can see them in the flowers. That makes it even better to be able to see that. Isn't that the ultimate stamp of something handmade? Yes, there is sparkle in the lake. The piece is 4 by 6. It's a tiny bitty little thing, but it is so articulated, so romantic. It is so sweet. The colors are very romantic too. I love to see the flowers like that. Let me make it small again. So in your mind, think about it. I know you all have a 4 by 6 frame sitting around. And if you don't, there's one at Home Goods waiting for you, right? Or wherever, the charity store, whatever. You're going to find frames of all different sizes. Look what wonder you can do with even a small frame like that. Just working it, popping it in there, up on the wall. Bob's your uncle. Yes, the wool was formed into small balls and felted in. It came out so great. Just that great contrast, the busyness, the more sort of complicated nature of the flowers against the soft, open, like wide open sweeps of the background is just gorgeous. Really is just gorgeous. Did a beautiful job. And you did a beautiful job with the first piece. I just had these in the wrong order. Let me come over here. And of this you wrote, let me open up again. Um, the first is a welcome rug called Pineapple Prim, designed by Irene Carter. No picture to go by, so the colors were all my choice. Many including sparkle. Well, oh, I can see sparkles. I'll stretch this one too, but I can see sparkles. Oh, I like that hanger with the two knobs. Oh, that's really pretty. Rocco pineapple with sparkle. The centers of the yellow flowers are using maple leaf tartan plaid. We're going to look at those close up. Maple leaf tartan plaid, Canada's official tartan. The hanging rod is a brass stair runner. Oh, that is brilliant. That is brilliant. I'm going to say that again. The hanging rod is a brass stair runner. You see those around, right? When people take them up, you see them around, and they are for sale still, like new ones. Stair runner to hold a holder to which I attach two glass knobs. Oh my God, from my childhood home. From my childhood home. Oh my God. Ready to hang in our entryway to greet our guests. Wow, everything about this piece is special. That is incredible. Okay, let's look at this close up. The knobs got me. I mean, that is the idea of the stair thing is crazy daisies, but putting the knobs in from your childhood home is just a beautiful um, touch, right? I mean, God, perfect. It's just perfect. So you see the sparkle. This is probably sparkle door wool. I don't know anyone else who does sparkle wool. Really does sparkle, right? There is like I don't know what the fiber is running through the weave. It's actually in the weave. Such gorgeous coloring with this. The blues, right? Like the sort of cool blues. That it's either dark. I think it's a dark, dark, dark navy, that warm green that you have in the corners and on the pineapple works so well against the cooler blues. And the background is very icy blue as well. That warm green works so well in answer to all the cool colors. And the yellow is a true yellow. It's like a kitchen yellow. It works really well with this palette. I love the way that you did this pineapple, right? It's true pineapple colors, the sort of brown colors, right? Little flecks of red at the bottom that match welcome. Your font is very cool. This is another great font tonight, right? This is like this sort of puffy font, but it's not overly puffy. I love the little tail on the C. I love the way that the with the E, the middle part is like up higher. I love the soft roundness of it. It's very informal. It's very welcoming without being cartoony. It's really clever. I just want to stretch a little tiny bit more because I want to show you that maple tartan inside the sunflowers. Hold on 1 minute. One more. Let's go one more because this is a high quality photo. And you can really see the sparkle here, right? Really well. And there we go. The center of the flowers is the maple tartan, and that is Canada's tartan. That is so cool. And I know you can see the sparkles really well now. Such a gorgeous piece. Let me make it small one more time so we can look at it one more time because this is our last piece for the night. I had about 30 more pieces for us from the Vermont um, event, right? The anniversary event where I was the keynote last weekend. But we will look at those on another day because you know I have to do like at least a couple of hours of dyeing tonight, and I am already so tired to get those doorknobs in here. There we go. One more, and we got it. Lock that down. Let's look at this one more time, and I want to catch these comments. Yes, the wool was formed into balls. Okay, got that one. Diane said, texture up close is delicious. Makes me want to crawl into the piece. It's the perfect way of putting it. It's so true. It looks so rich and different, and it's like it is like a portal of interest. Though it might be small, it is mighty. It is mighty. Though it might be small, it is mighty. Butchered Shakespearean quote. Very good. Very. That was the small piece, the felted piece. Yes, that was perfect for that. A little bit of Shakespeare. Ursula says, thank you. Ruth says, Richard wants to buy some lupine seeds now. Well, oh, he's going to love having them. They come up so pretty and so many. Normally, when I see them by the roadside, it's just amazing how it's obviously they're like, they've scattered, right? The seeds have scattered. They're just huge amounts by the roadside. When they're up, they are just gorgeous. Tell Richard he should give him the yes, the enabling on that. Let's see. Go for it. They are lovely perennials. Love the shading. This piece has some lovely shading as well. Both of Ursula's pieces did. The pieces tonight, Diane says, I am so overwhelmed by everyone's magic. The perfect sentiment to close this episode because it's true. I'll just finish the comments and then I'll do an outro. My mom says, now that's a fine pineapple, the ultimate welcome. And Ruth says, friendly font. It is, isn't it? It really is nice. And Diane says, yes, a cheerful font for a cheerful pineapple rug. Love it. And Ruth says, I just ordered the seeds. How fast we go from just chatting to buying something online, right? Good for you. You're gonna love those seeds. Let me see if I can get some too. Just got that dogwood and the hibiscus tree. My husband was just planting them right before it got dark. Could go for some lupine as well. How funny, Ruth. You won't regret it. Richard's going to be so happy. Tonight, as Diane said, tonight was just a great night for different projects. Every night that we do gallery night, we see things we love and we see things that inspire us. And I think we were just very lucky tonight that there were so many pieces that had something that was different or experimental, whether it was an idea or a technique or combination. We just happened to have a lot of that tonight. It doesn't mean that projects that have something special or quirky about them are the only ones we want. We want all of them. But it just so happened it was almost like I somehow, I hate this word, but curated, um, very pretentious, this episode to show you lots of different techniques. But I didn't. It just happened this way. So, you know what that says to me? In a weird way, that says to me, we are coming out of winter and we are looking at our stuff and we are thinking, oh, that looks like fun. I haven't done that for a while and I haven't done that for a while. That looks interesting. That says to me we are feeling curious. We are coming out of hibernation. We're coming out of our caves. Everything is interesting, and we're curious about everything right now. A lot of people are doing a lot of different techniques, more than usual. So it might be a seasonal thing, it might be a coincidence, but we benefit from that by having a really great episode filled with some great ideas that you can take away. I hope you're keeping lists, right? There's so much here. It's so dense. Let's see. Valerie said, thanks for another fine cocktail night. It was very fine. Thank you for your contributions, which made it fine, right? There were so many great entries tonight. Ursula says it was so much fun to hook once I figured out how to hook the pineapple. tricky, right? Because so much structure to that. And everyone knows what a pineapple looks like, which makes it worse because then if it doesn't look like a pineapple, you know that people will go, "Oh, I bet that was supposed to be a pineapple, but it doesn't look like a pineapple." That's the problem with things that everyone knows really well, right? But you killed it. You hit it out of the park. It's perfect. The colors came from a grocery store flyer featuring a pineapple. See, I love that part too. I'm really glad that you added that part. I love that part too. That just that little touch about the grocery store flyer is so every day. It's so real life. It's worth picking up things like grocery store flyers, right, as a reference. That is so nice. I love that touch. And Diane says, I want some of that fire flower jelly. Me too. I want some. Jelly is one of my favorite things. I shouldn't be having a lot of it, right, with low carb everything, but yeah, jelly is like one of my splurge things, big time. Ruth says, looking forward to seeing what we missed. It's a great episode, Ruth. It was a crazy one. Sharon says, wow, that's awesome. And what a memory in your hangar. In your hangar. Everyone is so inspirational tonight. Definitely. Judy says, thanks for all the wonderful inspiration, everyone. I hope you all have a wonderful weekend. Ursula says, wonderful Friday evening with this community and creatives. Absolutely. We're so lucky. We're so lucky to be together here. I love these evenings. Everybody, have a great weekend. Be thinking about projects, be thinking about the Cheticamp class. Remember that the Halloween party is open for sign up. I really want to get together and have some good times there in person. The Rose book is available for pre order. That will be going to print probably tomorrow, possibly tonight. We'll see how much I get done tonight. Um, yeah, have a great weekend. I'll be running around a little bit, but I'm always on I'm on my phone checking my email at ribboncandyhooking@gmail.com. Thumbs up. Thank you. I'm going to joyride. Thank you for remembering. Me and Teddy are going to have a great trip to, I almost said Jerusalem, but it's Bethlehem. A great trip. You know what? I think it's Jerusalem. No, it's Bethlehem. It's Bethlehem. It is. I think there's both, but I think we're going to Bethlehem tomorrow. Yes, I think we are. So, yes, thank you. We'll have a great time. You know you can reach me if you need me. Otherwise, I'll be with you on Monday. And I think on Monday, we'll look at those rugs from the throwdown at the Green Mountain Show and Hook-In last weekend, because there are some beauties. I don't want you to miss those either. Happy weekend to everybody, and I will see you